Can I fire some questions at you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sam. Appreciate your time. Obviously, first of all, I mean, it's 25 years in August, the first Gatti fight when you beat him. I mean, does it seem that long ago? Time's so flown.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's gone fast. Going into that fight, I mean, it was not only was it a truly great fight, but you shocked everybody by the way you just went to war with him. You just thought, right, I'm going to get in there, make a statement, and get in there in close and go to have a slugfest. Whereas you were more of a slick boxer. That was your plan all along, then, just to take it to him.
Well, really, it's a whole lot that led up to that fight. First of all, I don't want to say, well, I can't say thanks to Bank Legend, which is Arturo Gatti's manager, and also thanks to Arturo Gatti, and also the main events for all of them picking me for the fight. But for them picking me for the fight, they didn't expect me. I don't think they expected me to win. They just really didn't. Of course, I was the better boxer, and of course, he was the better slugger and the bigger puncher. Prior going into the fight, the whole time in camp, in my training camp, I just prepared myself to boxing. To box. I think maybe like 3 weeks before the fight, we had a press conference in New York.
Yeah.
And the press conference was really well. Everything went well. My best friend, my man Rennie Carter, went to the press conference with me and my manager Eddie Wood. And prior to the press conference, on the podium, they asked you questions about the fight. So they asked me first. They was like, Ivan, you're fighting on Arturo Gatti. What you think? I told them I think it's gonna be a great fight. And I plan on going out there to win. So when they went to Gatti, they asked Gatti what was his expectations of the fight. He told me that he feels though he's gonna beat me, he'll knock me out. And then he said, you can't bring knives to a gunfight. So, I left it at that. He said what he said. We got up, we took pictures. So at that time, it was limos. Well, it's still limos, but it was limos out at the time. So my manager had got us a limo from Philly to New York, going and coming. So on the way going back to Philly to go back in camp to finish the next 2 weeks of camp before the fight, I asked my best friend who was with me, I said, what did Gatti mean by bringing knives to a gunfight? He said, Gatti was saying that you don't have no power to knock him out. You ain't gonna do nothing but cut him up, but he's gonna knock you out. So that stuck with me the whole next 2.5 weeks for the camp, getting ready for the fight. All I wanted to do was just put my hands on Gatti and just beat him up. So that's why, prior to that 2 weeks going into the last 2 weeks of camp, I still continue to box. My whole plan was to just boxing, circle around this, that, and that. But I was still mad because of how I felt though he disrespected me. So the night before the fight, the night of the fight, we was in the dressing room warming up, and I was warmed up really good, just as long as I ever warmed up for any fight. So we was warming up, and they came in. My team always said a prayer before we went out to fight. No matter what, we always said a prayer. So we got in a circle. We all said a prayer, and then HBO came in the back, because they walk you out.
Yeah.
They show you walk out to the ring. So when HBO came back to get ready to walk me back out, I grabbed my team and I told my team, I said, come on, man. I said, come back to the middle. I got to tell y'all something. So everybody came to the middle, and I told them, I said, I'm going out there to knock Gatti out. I'm not going out there to box or nothing. I'm going straight out there to knock him out. And my team, I'll never forget it, my team was like, no, Ivan, come here. No, Ivan, come here. They were trying to grab me ring, and I knew right then and there, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to go in there and I wanted to punish him. That's why when the bell rang that first round, I came out and I threw about 100. I think they said I threw like 112 punches.
Yeah.
16.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that first round. Yeah, I was mad. I was really upset. I never really been upset. I felt really, really disrespected. And I mean, I know at the end of the day, when the fight was over with, like I said, me and Gatti just friends. We was in camp with Pernell when Pernell was getting ready for the Oscar De La Hoya fight. I was Pernell Whitaker's main sparring partner, but Gatti was in there too. But I was his main guy. I was the one that did all around with him.
Yeah.
I guess because I fought Arturo. I fought Oscar, and I knew what his plan was. I knew how he fought and all that. I guess that's why he used him. But going back to the Gatti fight, yeah, I was just annoyed. I was really annoyed. I felt real disrespected, and I had to go out there and win. I mean, everybody in the boxing world knew I was a great fighter. They knew that I would fight anybody, anywhere, any given time. But that Gatti fight was a fight that was going to either make me or break me. It was going to put me in a situation to start making some real good money. Or either Gatti was going to knock me out and I was going to be a sea fighter. But I knew Gatti couldn't beat me. I just needed to go in there and stick to the game plan. But I went in there and I can say I stuck to the game plan because I beat him up. But that wasn't supposed to be a game plan. I wasn't supposed to make it as close as I made it. And I really wasn't supposed to make it exciting. But look, it's 25 years later, and you sit down, we talking about it because it was a great fight.
Oh, it's one of the truly great fights. It's one of the truly great fights. But I've just got to ask you, Champ, just a little bit more about that first round because it's up there with Hagler Hearns in terms of the most ferocious opening round in terms of hell for leather. And it was because of you, because you just jumped right on him. And like you say, 120 punches. That's one of the greatest opening rounds ever. And then, of course, the fight all the way through was truly great. And then the second fight was great, although you beat Gatti up big time in the second fight, let's be honest. But that was, I mean, was that you at your absolute best, the Gatti fights?
Yeah, I think that was, you know, excuse me for cutting you off, but you know what? I'm a throwback fighter.
Yeah.
And I'm different from these fighters nowadays. These fighters nowadays are basically, which they should be, but I think it's just a little different. A lot of fighters nowadays are about money, about making $1.
Yeah.
About not losing and this and that. When I was coming up, it wasn't about that. My thing was, I said, if I did anything my whole career, my whole entire career, I wanted the boxing world to remember Ivan Robinson for something spectacular in my career. And whoever knew that it would have been Arturo Gatti.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, me beating Gatti was something that was very, very well-warming for me. I know Gatti didn't like it, but it was well-warming for me. It was a great opportunity that I got to be in a fight like that with him and also to be on top. But at the end of the day, man, Arturo Gatti was a warrior. I love him to this day. That's my brother, you know, and I feel as though, even though I don't get the credit for it, but people like you still give me my flowers at the end of the day to say Ivan Robinson and Arturo Gatti were good fights.
Oh,
so I'm proud of that.
Absolutely. There's no way anybody could ever deny that of you, Champ. But did you ever spar Gatti on the way? Did you spar Gatti on the way up?
No, see that's what made, you know what I'm saying, and it's crazy because like I said, I was sort of a throwback fighter. I trained, I slept, I ate, I ran boxing. So really, like the business part of boxing, I really never got into it because my dad was my trainer, my manager was Eddie Woods. Those guys always made sure that I had what I needed. I never wanted for anything. Even if I wanted for something, I always got it. My job was to box. My job was to go in the gym and train when they set a time for me to train, that's what I did. When it came to the paperwork, when it came to the negotiating, I was never at a table. It was either my dad, my other trainer, and my manager and my lawyer. That was it. All I did was send me the papers. If I fought King Kong, tell me where we was fighting at. I was ready to fight. So that was the difference with me. So that's why, like I said, at the end of the day, I appreciate you calling me, getting the scoop on me and Gary, and about my career. But it was just amazing how me and Gary was in camp with Purnell. We was in camp with Junior Jones for Antonio Marco Barrera. We was in camp with Purnell Whitaker for the kid from Cuba. But me and Gatti never, ever sparred. So the way I'm looking at it, it was business. I guess Manny Vince was looking at it like, Ivan and Arturo may make a good fight somewhere down the line. But I wouldn't. If you would have asked me, I would have told you, no, I would have never fought him for 2 reasons. One, that's my brother.
Yeah.
2, he could never beat me. That's just what it would have been.
Yeah. Well, as you know, you're the only man to have ever beaten him twice. That's just right there. That's a stat, and it's there. Nobody else ever beat him twice. And everybody talks about the Mickey Ward trilogy was a great fights, but your 2 fights were equally as great. I mean, the action. Let me ask you this. Sorry, champ. Let me ask you this. The rematch, which was obviously 4 months later. I mean, you really beat him. I mean, HBO. I think it was what's his name? Larry Merchant was saying like they should stop this now. Gatti's finished. You beat Gatti up in the second fight. You really give him a beating. I mean, when you look back now, which fight are you most proud of? I mean, because the first fight was an absolute classic. The second fight is still a good fight, but it was all you, basically.
Well, I mean, it tells you right then and there that, I mean, I don't know, you always, like, Mike Tyson said it the best. He said you always got to play until you get hit. In the first fight, my plan went well because I never really got hit. I was doing all the punching, and I made the fight very exciting from the opening bell. Yeah, he put me with a great shot in the 10th round. That's a shot that I think I will always remember until the day I pass away.
Yeah.
The second fight was supposed to have been what the first fight should have been. The first fight should have been the second fight, and the second fight should have been the first fight.
Right.
But it didn't turn out that way. At the end of the day, I'm proud that I gave you something that you can remember me till the day I die. I'm glad that I gave the world the opportunity to really get to see me, which they already knew who Gatti was. I'm also proud and helpful. Grateful that the world just got an opportunity to see me perform, and I got a chance to be on the big stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I say, I keep saying it, keep repeating myself, but they truly were great fights. You said about that the 10th round in that first fight. He hurt you, but were you kind of playing a little bit of possum? Were you trying to sucker him in a little bit in that? Because you were hurt.
No, I know. Actually, that fight was probably the best fight of my career because I got in shape. Well, I was always in shape, but you know how it's just something that, like for instance, when you meet a girl and she's the best thing that you ever seen, or she's the prettiest ever, you want to look your best. I think with that fight, knowing that it's going to be in both of our hometowns, he's from Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm from Philly, but Atlantic City is like my second home because I fought in Atlantic City 7 times.
Yeah.
When I was an amateur, I fought a lot of guys from down Atlantic City. So Atlantic City was like home. I didn't have a problem with all my family and friends getting down to Atlantic City. It was a big stage. I was making some good money because I made a whole lot of money the second fight. But the first fight, to be honest with you, money has never really been an issue with me when it came to boxing. And coming up, my first couple fights, prior to I got to like maybe 16, 17, I never really made no real big money. I didn't start making no real big money until I beat Gatti. So I was already in a transition of not even worrying about making no big money. It was just about performing and getting people like you, other people, HBO, Showtime, Ringside, Top Rank, all them guys who actually look at me and see me for who I was and what I could do. Because I think I had a great amateur career, so that started it, and it just welled over to the professional rank.
Yeah, I mean, what is it about certain Philadelphia fighters? Obviously, I know you lived in the neighborhood. I think I'm correct. You lived in the neighborhood near Meldrick Taylor, and you had those amazing. What is it about you guys with the fast hands? Unbelievably fast hands where you can't even see them without replay, blurring. You had those. That was just, something special to see. I mean, I guess you can't train for speed. You've just got that or not. Is that you just got it or you haven't?
Very true. Because I get a lot of fighters like today that I've trained or come to me. That's the first thing they say. How can I get fast hands like you?
Yeah.
And I tell them, well, you got to be gifted. I just guess you got to be gifted.
Yeah.
Lord has to give you that gift to be like that because that's not something that you are born with every day. People don't be born with that every day.
Is it fair to say, was Gatti the best guy you ever fought?
Gatti?
Yeah, because I know you fought a bunch of great fighters. Obviously, you fought Chavez, obviously, Angel Manfredi, some top guys. Was Gatti maybe the best you fought, or would you say someone else maybe?
Well, honestly, Gatti was one of my hardest guys, but you know who was really my hardest guy?
Who?
When I beat Manuel Gatti.
Oh yeah, the drunken master.
Manuel Gatti, the drunken master.
Yeah.
He was just something terrible. Not something terrible. He was just something special.
Yeah. It's interesting because Floyd Mayweather said he's the toughest guy he fought as well.
Yeah.
He said that about him. He said that. But I tell you, Champ, it's a real honour to be able to speak with you. These two fights you had with Gatti, I mean, there was never any talk of a third fight, I guess. Because you beat him so emphatically in the second one. There was never a talk of a third one.
No, it was never talk about a third one. But I mean, really, to be honestly truthful, nobody really asked me that. You're the first one to ask me that, and I'm really sitting down thinking about it right now. But what would have made a third fight? All right, put it this way: would you have wanted to see a third fight?
Well, as a fan, yeah, because they both were great fights. I mean, in terms of action, even though the second fight was pretty much, you probably won 8 rounds to 2 you beat him up in the second fight, but he still had great courage, and it was still exciting fight. So I think a third fight would still have appealed to fans, yeah, in terms of because it was exciting, yeah. I think a third fight, you two guys could never have been in a bad fight. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, I guess I could go with you with a third fight, but I don't think it would have been good on his behalf to take a third fight because he wouldn't have done nothing but absorb more punishment.
Yeah.
And it's probably a worse beating than what he got the first 2 fights.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
And if it would have been a third fight, it would have had to been for a whole lot of money, and then it would have had to been for a title because now we have to talk about it being for a reason for it. I understand the first fight happened. Well, really the fight happened because they wanted Gatti to get back on track. I don't even think they were looking at me to move forward. I guess they was looking for me to move back. Okay. So the first fight happened, he got beat. Gatti always want to beat his opponents that beat him twice. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you, too, they begged the hell out of me to fight Gatti the second time. And I'm going to tell you, I knew I could beat him, but it wasn't even about, once I beat him, it wasn't even fair of me to sit down and think about a second fight, because when we had set to fight Gatti, I already had made plans after the Gatti fight that I was married at the time to take my wife and my 2 kids to Mexico to spend for vacation.
Right.
They wanted that second Gatti fight so damn bad that they called me, because you know I only live like 30 minutes from Atlantic City.
Yeah.
They called me the night after the fight, because I stayed at the hotel. They called me all night. I didn't want to talk to them. They called my manager all night. They called me and I don't even know how they got my private number, but they called me from the time I left Atlantic City to the time I got to Philly. And I was getting ready to leave that Monday morning to go to Jamaica to train. I don't even know how they did it. I guess money must have did it, because we didn't have nothing on the table, wasn't no contract or nothing. They messed around and offered us so much money to take the second Gatti fight, and I guess Gatti wanted it so bad. They fucking talked to me for hours and hours on that fight, where they got me to where they made me take so much money to fight this guy again. So I was so mad because I wanted to go to Jamaica with my family. What I did when we signed the fight, because we fought him on Saturday, they called me on Sunday. We made the fight on Monday morning.
Wow.
And guess where I went on Monday night?
To the gym.
You better know. I went right back to the gym.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the thing about it, the fight was supposed to have been November. I think it was like November, like the first week of November.
Yeah.
The third week in camp, they called me and said that they had to reschedule the fight for December the 12th.
Right.
So I still had another 4 or 5 weeks in camp to get ready for it. Man, I was in such a great shape, it was crazy. Wow. The fight was at 135. I think I came in like 132.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Why do you think they wanted that extra time then? Why?
Because Gatti has got fat. I don't see. One thing, that was crazy. Like I said, it was crazy on how they made the fight. Because 2 things. One, they made the fight with me and Gatti. For one, they should have never made it because he couldn't beat me.
Yeah.
2, we were with the same promotion coming, which was main event. But come to find out after the Gatti fight, I never was signed with them. But they kept me because they kept fighting me on all their cards. And when I got to 10 rounds, they was making me the main event. But the thing was, me and Gatti was like teammates. We used to go to camp with Purnell. I knew Gatti used to get fat in between camps. He always used to break his balls to make weight, this, that, and so when they called us and told us that they had to reschedule the fight for December, my whole camp already knew that Gatti was too fat.
Right.
And he was having trouble making weight.
But you lived the life, obviously. You always kept in shape. You never...
Yeah. My dad didn't play that. My dad did not allow me to be within 5 pounds to 7 pounds of my weight class.
I
so
get
if I was like if I was fighting at 35, I couldn't weigh no more than 40. 40
right.
won the most. So every time I went out the gym, I was going out the gym about 36 every day.
Yeah.
And I used to train every day. The only day I had off was Sunday because that was church days. I had to go to church. Or that was the only day I had off from the gym.
That's amazing. That's amazing discipline. The fighting.
That's crazy.
Nobody's got that nowadays. Nobody's got that nowadays. Fighters put on so much weight between fights. I don't want to mention any names, but these guys they just put weight on the balloon, not balloon, but get close to.
Yeah. I know it. Because I got guys in the gym now. Guys will be fighting at 47. these guys walk around at 65. I'm like, yo, man,
Yeah,
don't come back in the gym until you get down at least 50. Come back and see me then.
exactly.
Not
when
get down, I get no. I ain't gonna hear that.
Ivan
No, I'm good.
Ivan Robinson don't want that. They don't want to see that. Not when you live the life. I tell you. But the thing is, like I say, you really did give a beating to Gatti in that second fight. It was still a good fight, but it was it was all you. So he asked for it, he wanted it, and he got. What's that saying? Don't ask for. What's that saying? If you,
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. Don't ask for what you don't want.
Yeah, and you gave him you really did. He was busted up bad in that second fight, but that's not just your entire career. You had so many other great fights, and you were just one of the what is it? The Philadelphia fighters is just legendary. The Philly Warriors like you and Taylor, and going back further, there's guys like obviously Frazier and that. Just legendary, great. Just born to fight, and never take a step back, or you know, you just took it. You took it to Gatti and made it his fight, but made it your fight, and that's what made it incredible. And yeah, as a fan and everybody, we just thank you for those two fights. They were just exceptional fights. We can watch them nowadays on YouTube. We're so lucky we can watch them on YouTube, and yeah. They were just exceptional, and Ivan Robinson was it. You're a true great, no doubt, one of the greats.